I am presenting to you speakers from Showchrome. There's a new product out. I'm going to show you how to install it, and I'm going to do a review on it and see how it sounds, see how the volume is, see how everything is on it. But first, let's do a quick unboxing and see what's in it. These are just my notes. It is well packaged. I kind of took a little bit out just to kind of see how it would go. But let's get to the nitty gritty. These are solid, I can tell, because they're hard to get out. They're a little heavy. So this is one of the speakers. Let's open it up. Let's just rip it open. Wow, they're really nice. I don't know if you guys can get a good view on this. It's solid. It's not like a cheap speaker. I've seen cheap, lightweight speakers on handlebars. These are very, very solid and apparently wrapped very, very well. Come on, plastic. Okay. Almost. Okay. So this is one of the speakers, and this will be your main speaker, as it is what goes into your bike, is what connects into your battery, and you're going to be using all these good stuff. We got a ground wire, live wire, and this is if you want to spend the extra time and hook this up to a switch. So that way you can, or an accessory port, that way it'll turn on and off with your Ryker or Spider. So this actually works great on an F3. There are F3 models that do not come with speakers. The RTs all come with speakers, and most F3s come with speakers, but there are some base model F3s that do not, and these will work great. The configuration works on both Ryker handlebars and Spider handlebars. But this yellow wire is if you want to make it a separate switch. If you don't, you can hook this up to the battery as well, and I'll show you how to do that. And when it's hooked up to the battery, when this is on, it stays on even if your bike is off. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So there's different ways of doing it. I'm going to show you basically the easiest way to install it, which is right to the battery. And just always remember to turn it off. There's a nice power display right here. You can see in there, and that'll give you your skip song, your power, your Bluetooth button is on there to connect to your phone. And this is just awesome. All right. Be very aware when you are unboxing that you have these little pockets in here that are just so cozy, and they come with the tools that you need and all this other stuff. So be careful and make sure you don't just throw away the box. Kind of dig in the crevices, you'll find some good stuff. This is the other one, the other speaker. And it looks just like this one, but it does not have the controller on top. So this one is your controller, which is really nice. It's not a separate feature on your handlebars. It's right in here. So a couple of things to know about the speakers that are helpful to you is, and again, this is from Showchrome, of which you can find on my website. All right, so we've got the clamps are in here, and this is what's going to clamp onto your handlebar. The color is just beautiful. So it has black accents, and it's like a beautiful graphite gray, shiny, beautiful metal on here. So to clamp to your handlebars. And let's see what's in here. Again, I didn't open this yet. This is going to be, if you have, my guess is we're going to use these. There's going to be little spacers that you're going to put on your handlebars to get the clamps to work on here. So this will help you. These are metal. If you have a rubber spacer to put in between, I recommend that. But if not, this will work very, very well. And it also comes with an Allen key, so you can tighten everything up. So a couple of points that I want to make that really make these stand out more than anything is, so these are 2 3/4 inch diameter, and it has, this part is neat, it has a built-in Class D amplifier. And what does that mean, Class D amplifier? It makes it that it doesn't drain as much battery as other speakers would do when it's hooked up directly to your battery. It makes your battery life in the use of this more efficient. So it has been tried and tested by the people over at Showchrome. So if you have these running, suppose you go to an event and you want your music going, but your bike is off. So you're just using the speakers against your battery. They ran it for 4 hours with the bike off but the speakers on, and it only used 0.4 watts. That's all that it consumed of your battery. It only drained it 0.4 watts, which is really nothing. Also, they did another test, which I think is my favorite test of all, is that, and this would happen all the time. So if it's hooked up directly to your battery and not a separate on-off toggle switch, if you get off your bike and you accidentally forget to turn these off, right? You go in with your phone, so there's no music, but these are still on. Your battery's off, but you're running this, so it's still draining from your battery, because that could very easily happen, you forget. So if you forget to turn these off, they did a test on it, and they let it run for 12 hours overnight, and they noticed it only had a 0.1% drop in voltage, which means if you don't have anything else that's draining your battery, it shouldn't drain your battery if you accidentally leave it on overnight. Now, if you left it on for a day or two, then you're gonna come back, you're gonna have to jump your battery. So just kind of interesting things. So they put a lot of time and effort in making this and making it exactly what we as Can-Am owners or bike owners want and need from a speaker system. And again, this hooks up directly to your cell phone Bluetooth. All right, I'm gonna go find a Ryker and see who wants it installed. I'll see you there. Bye. And I found this beautiful, beautiful Ryker to install the speakers on. And this bike belongs to Juju. Come on over, Juju. Come say hi. She's from 305. She's awesome. You know I'm an honorary member of 305. Do you know that? I'm going to their party tomorrow night. And I got my 305 shirt I'm wearing, so I'm so excited. All right, so she does not have any music on her handlebars and in desperate need for music. So thanks to Showchrome, they'll hook you up. Thank you. And what I'm gonna do is, instead of having me install it, I'm gonna show you how easy it is, and I'm gonna have Juju install it. All right, so. All right, the speakers come with, smell how heavy they are. They're like solid, really good. Okay, so the speakers, and one of them has controls on them and one of them doesn't. So I'm gonna assume that you're gonna want the controls on your left hand, on your left side of your handlebar, so you have access to it when you're riding. If you want to increase the speed, you don't have to take your hand off your throttle. So we're gonna install the ones with the controls. Ooh, don't throw your speaker. Okay, on the left-hand side. So we're gonna put it right here. We're gonna install one right here and one right here. So I'm gonna give this to you to hold, and I'm gonna get the parts that we need. So the Showchrome sends you with these metal spacers to add to your bike. And I pre-tested it, and it only needs one spacer to make it fit. If you don't put the spacer on it, it really, in my opinion, spins too much. So it needs one spacer. And so we're gonna leave these behind. We're gonna grab one of these. So here are the bolts that you need, and the Allen wrench that comes with it to tighten it. So you just wanna be careful when you put this on, so you don't wanna scratch your handlebars. I would have put electrical tape on there just to make sure you don't wanna scratch it, but if you're super careful, it shouldn't be hard to do it. You don't need to push it on, you don't need to do anything, just kind of place it on there where you want it to go. Actually, I'm just taking over, I want you to do it. So if you want to sit on your bike, I'll give you an assist. And then you're going to put this underneath. So how it works, it's going to be hard to capture on camera, but the top part up here is threaded and the bottom part is not. So you're going to want to put the screw in. Oh no. So you're going to want to put the screw in from the bottom, kind of coming up. We don't need to worry about the placement until it gets nice and tight.
Okay.
So I'm going to put my hand underneath in case you drop the screw.
I don't have on my glasses.
Okay. If you need help, I'll get it started for you. There you go. The screw goes on the top and the bottom. And now we're going to put the bottom one in. And now after you position it how you like it, then we'll tighten it up real tight.
It's not hard at all. It's just I don't have on my glasses.
So Juju, do you recommend glasses when you're doing it inside? I don't think Juju, in Juju's defense, I don't think she thought she was going to be working today. I thought she's like, oh, this is awesome. I'm just going to show up and hang out with Beth and get some free speakers. Yeah, that sounds like a great time. All right, so you're good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's put this in the position you want.
They look really nice.
I love how solid it is. And they're not too big. They're not in your face. You know, some speakers are like, boom. I call them Dolly Parton speakers. No offense to Dolly Parton, I love her. But, you know what I mean. You want to make sure they're good and tight. Every once in a while, I recommend coming back and kind of making sure these things are tight. Also, I recommend using a little bit of blue Loctite.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll kind of, you might want to go back and do that when you get home. I'm sorry I didn't bring it. All right, we're going to go ahead and get off camera and put the second speaker on the exact same way. And then we'll come back and do the wiring. All right, these speakers are on. And this is how they look when they're in place. Very, very cool. And this is how they look from this side. Man, they look cool. Next, what we're going to do is hook these up to the battery. Let's get started. All right, here you go, Juju. I'm going to have you take over. And what we're going to do is just open up the glove box. And we're going to open up your gas cover here.
Okay.
So you're going to take, you want to come on this side for a second? We're going to take off 1, 2, 3, 4 push pins. The next step is to remove, after your push pins have been removed from here and also underneath your gas cover, we're going to remove the side panels. Go ahead, Juju. You're going to, yep, that's going to pop right off and slides right out, slides right to you. Perfect. Voila! Easy, right, Juju?
Yes.
She's like, yeah, I did that. All right. All right, the next step in terms of removing the glove box, because that's how we're going to wire everything underneath to the battery, there's 2 screws. There's one on this side and one on the other side, and there's a T15. So it's going to remove those 2 screws. You can put them right inside the glove box, so we'll keep everything together. We're going to separate this from here. There's little push pins here. I'm going to let Carl take over on filming so I can kind of get in there and help out. So, here you go. Yeah, it sounds like you're breaking it, but you're not. There's just 2 things here that connect here. And then you're going to pull it out, but you're going to notice that you're stuck because you've got your USB in here. That's your USB charging things are in here. And that's what's, actually, you know what? You don't even need to take it fully out. You can just kind of rest it to the side like this and close it. We just need to have access to the holes here. Okay. So now we have our wires. Super easy. Come on, when you come on this side, Juju, I'm going to have you wanted to do it. I'm going to have you do it. I'm trying to be good. All right, so you're going to connect these 2 wires. And if the boy and the girl, but you can tell, see how there's a little notch right here? You see that? There's a little notch right here. So make sure your notch on this is lined up. The little notch in there is lined up with the notch in there, and then push them together. You have to hold this down and then screw it in. Okay. All right, that's interesting. I've never used anything like this before. So this comes like this, separated. You want to hold this all the way up and then screw this on. And that makes for a tight connection. And then make this super, super tight. And then if you want to do this, if you go like this and it comes apart, it's not on right. So learn from my little mistake there. Okay, now this is all good. Now you've got this wire. What are we gonna do with all these wires, guys? We're gonna tuck them in here. And we're gonna, again, I'm doing all the work. Okay, so can you take your hood off? Those of you who have never done it before, these two little snaps right here on the inside. 1, 2, you push those in, it knocks it right off. Oh, your bike is so clean. Oh, look at that. Wow, why it's like no wires. It's so beautiful. All right, so we are going to run this through here. All right, before you pull as hard as you can, you want to make sure your wires have enough slack where when you're turning it, the wires have enough room to go right and left when you're making the turns that you're not pulling, that you have enough free space on that. So make sure before you zip tie anything or tighten anything up, it's done right. So we're going to go through here. And we're going to drop these underneath your glove box. Again, make sure you give yourself enough slack. Let's see. All right, we'll come back and tighten that up in a minute. And just make sure the key is out of the bike. And now we're going to hook it up to the battery. I'm going to have you do this as well. Juju. You're going to use a 10mm socket and I'm going to attach these. So because, and this is actually really cool, a lot of, and you'll see on other things we take off, a lot of these connectors are these horseshoe connectors that kind of, they can come out and pull out from the battery, from the terminals. I love these. I love the extra little bit of effort they put into these, a little bit extra cost they put into making these right, that these will stay on. These are the circle ones versus the horseshoe ones. Those aren't the technical terms, those are just my terms for them. We're going to start with the negative, and we're going to loosen it up. I could have left you hanging and made it go the wrong way. So you're going to loosen those up. You're actually going to do more than loosen. You're going to take that screw out as you need to put this on. Yeah, you will. And now at this point, you can kind of just turn it like this to kind of get it. Perfect. And you can do it to the other one too. All right, we're going to take these completely out. And you want to do it so it's upside down, just like that, so you don't get. Actually, you know what? You can keep it on there. Just like that. You don't need to take that part totally off. So what we're doing is black goes to black, the grounding. So we're going to put it on there. We're going to put it back on. And for right now, I'm just going to finger tighten this. All right, I'm going to recap what I talked about earlier in the video at home. This is your power. And this is for if you're gonna, the yellow wire is if you're gonna have an auxiliary switch, an on-off switch. We're not doing that for this install, we're just plugging it directly to the battery. So both of these are gonna go onto your positive terminal. And what that means for you, Juju, is if you turn this on, you have to remember to turn it off. Okay. Because it will slightly drain your battery, and you don't want to wake up in the morning and have issues with it. But you really want to get in a habit of making sure you turn it off every time. Okay, so now we're going to have these both on. And then actually go on to this, maybe it's easier. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to do that. I'm kidding. These you need to make sure are super tight, or you lose your connection. All right, let's see if it turns on. This is always the part of the video that scares me because it was a very easy install, but you're always like, is it going to work? Is it going to turn on? All right, so from my understanding, you have to push and hold, wait a couple seconds, and then it turns on. So come a little closer so it should make a startup noise. I don't think it lights up at all, but it should make a startup noise. So you're gonna push and hold the power button. That's what I'm talking about. That's a good noise. Okay, good speakers. Okay, so here is the controllers. You've got plus and minus for volume. Plus, minus, you've got play and pause if you want to, if you come up to a stoplight, you know, and you want to just quickly just pause it. And then here's your Bluetooth button to sync it to your phone. It's very easy to sync it just like any other Bluetooth device that you probably have. And man, I am like super excited about this install. This is really cool. In the meantime, if you want to buy this, you know where to buy it. Juju, you know where to buy this?
Yes.
Where?
Ryker Rydes.
That's what I'm saying. RykerRydes.com. That's where you want to buy this. I got it. It's ready to ship. That's where you want to buy it from. All right. So I'm going to put her bike back together again, and I am going to wrap everything up, put everything back the way it was. I'm just going to show you real quick before we take it off our test spin of how we ran the wires. So if you notice, we have the wire coming out through here. So it comes through here, and we're going to close it up this way. So what I wanted to make sure, like I talked about earlier, that you have plenty of slack, that it's not pulling on it every time you take a turn. And then when we put the panels back on, it's going to fit ever so beautifully. There we go. And everything's lined up. Don't forget to push this back in. You hear that nice pop. And we're going to throw our push pins back in, all the way up, make it nice and tight. And that's going to be virtually, you're not going to have any wires hanging down. And then for this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to nice and neatly zip tie all this together. And you want to make sure that it's not near any moving parts. So you want to make all right, Juju. We found some YouTube non-copyrighted music from one of my older videos. We're gonna play it and see how you like the sound system. So hit it. What do you think?
I love it that even with me speeding and accelerating, I can still hear the speakers clearly.
Yeah, let's turn this off for a second.
Even with me driving and accelerating with the speed, I can still hear the music clearly. Over the JBLs at a certain speed, I wasn't able to hear them anymore.
So you used to have JBLs, the little on there.
Yes.
So how does this compare to the JBLs?
I love it much better, much better. The quality is great. I love my setup. I just love it. I love everything about it. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I gotta tell you, I can't stop staring at your glasses, man. It's so distractingly awesome. That's so cool. So you're happy, you're good, you recommend it to a friend?
I recommend these to a friend. I will recommend them to anyone. You will be satisfied with them.
Shout out to 305, right?
Yes.
Awesome. I'll see you later. Bye, Juju. Thank you so much. Thanks for watching, everybody. Ride safe, have fun. All right, I'll introduce you and bring you in, I guess.
Okay.
It's on, by the way.
I know.